Hello, this is Sneakers Corner again. In this short video, I'm just going to talk about Christoph Luxenberg's essay, Relics of Syro-Aramaic Letters in Early Quranic Codices of the Hijazi and Kufi style. Essentially, what we're interested in is the origin of a lot of the errors that are found in the Quran. For example, clearly things were mistranslated from the original Syriac. There should be near perfect rhyming in the Quran, but as we know, the rhyming is imperfect, which is a sign that along the way changes were made that ruined the original rhyme, presuming there was a fairly half-decent rhyme at the beginning. So Christoph Luxenberg offers some explanations, which I'm just going to come down here. It's quite an interesting paper, but there's one piece I want to draw your attention to. So here are the different letters that were misidentified going from Syriac into Arabic. So it is a number of scholars' belief that originally, before the Quran was written in Hijazi script, before the Kufi script, it was written in a form of Syriac, Syro-Aramaic script, and then it gets changed into an Arabic script of different kinds, Hijazi and Kufi. Now, in transcribing it, mistakes were made. Now, in terms of how it would have been pronounced in Syriac, it wasn't Syriac words per se, it was Arabic written in a Syriac script. Hope that's clear in terms of the distinction. So here's what Christoph Luxenberg has to say. My research thus far has shown that several letters from the Syriac alphabet have led to mistranscriptions or misreadings because they are formed similarly either to one another or to Arabic letters. In other words, there are certain letters within Syriac that look quite alike, so that causes confusion. And also they are confused with certain Arabic letters. So you might have two different letters, one in Syriac, one in Arabic, but they look similar in both scripts, but actually they're not corresponding letters. I hope that makes sense. So number one, he says, there are not a few cases of mistranscription due to confusion regarding the identically shaped Syriac Serta or Serto letters, which is the D and the R. The only letters in the Syriac alphabet that are distinguished by means of a point placed above or below the letters. It must have been inexperienced copyists who were the causes of mistranscription of these letters, not only into the Arabic, and we have the Dal, or the D, and the Dhal, or Thal, and the Ra, or the R letter, and the Zay, or the Z. Notice how the Ra and the Zai are distinguished with just a dot over the Zai. But even into an Arabic Wow, which is the equivalent of a W, due to the similarity of its basic form to the two Syriac letters. So if you're not confused already, you notice how these two are very similar, the Dal and the Thal, which has the dot above it. You have the Ra and the Zai with the dot above it, which is equivalent of the Z, and then you have the Wow or the W. Okay, so you can imagine how they're very similar letters. Number two, less common is confusion regarding the two similarly formed Syriac letters, the L and the Ain. The latter was sometimes transcribed as an Arabic L, while the former was transcribed as an Arabic Ain, like that, less often due to its more distinct form. So that was another common confusion. Number 3, the confusion that appears most often by far concerns the final forms of the Arabic letters, the Nun or the N, and the Y, which is I think it's pronounced I've forgotten how you pronounce it, the Arabic Y. Apologies, and which is used for 3 different type of vowel sounds: the Y sound, the I sound, and a sort of A sound. That such exchanges took place within the Arabic writing system due to similarities between the handwritten final forms of these letters has already been proposed, but below I will provide the graphic proof for this conjecture by means of the early Hijazi and Kufi fragments of the Quran, in that the confusion actually goes back to an unchanged and therefore faithful transcriptions of the Syriac final Nun. This identification is discovery that gives us concrete proof that the Quranic vorlage was originally, at least partially, composed in the Syriac script, a phenomenon known as Garshuni or Karshuni. Finally, a few cases have been found thus far in which Syriac S was falsely transcribed as an Arabic H or Ha, due to the similarities between the 2 letters, as you can see there and there. This will be shown in a later study. Okay, so let's move on. So, concrete examples. 2.1, the mistranscription of the Syriac Ain as an Arabic L. The example I explained at the beginning of this essay concerns such a mistranscription in the canonical Quranic text. The present section contains further examples of this phenomenon. In all cases, I've underlined the falsely transcribed L. Okay, so Pare 517 or Paret 517 translates this text as follows, indicating his dependence upon the Quranic commentators. Woe to every taunter and grumbler. The Cairo edition reads, Walun lai kuli humazatin lumazatin. Several emendations are required here. First, the introductory vowel U in the last 2 words, humaza and lumaza, is arbitrary and has no grammatical justification. So that obviously draws our attention that some mistake has happened. The Arab readers of the Quran did not recognize that these 2 forms represent a Syro-Aramaic nomen agentis that came into Arabic as a fa'al and must have been familiar to the Arab grammarians. Consequently, it must have been inexperienced readers who read here hu and lu instead of ha and la. Second, in the fa'al form, the middle consonant is doubled, and the vowel that immediately follows is to be pronounced as a long ah. Third, the Arab readers apparently did not recognize that the final H indicates the Aramaic status emphasis masculine ending with ah, which has nothing to do with the Arabic feminine ending or with a mark of intensification, as Lisan V407 explains. The 2 diacritical marks above the final H are therefore false, as is the inflection to in, because the Aramaic final H, a, is uninflectable, because the entirety of Surah 104 is based on the rhyme with the a sound. Verse 1 should be read without final vowels, thus Wail lakul, not likul, hamaza lamaza. So if we just focus on that again, Whale lakul hamaza lamaza. There we go. Sounds much better already. Philological analysis. The word whale is a combination of the injection way, Syro-Aramaic way or wo, and the preposition la, which is a reduction from Allah, by the disappearance of the introductory syllable ah, which takes the dative case. This preposition was added enclitically to the exclamatory particle way to form the substantive whale, similar to the folk etymologically explained construction of mal as ma plus l, what belongs to someone, property, assets. The latter etymology was accepted up to now by Arabists, but meanwhile the author has recognized it as folk etymology, insofar as the Arabs understood by this word mal, according to the Lisan. In the first instance, their possessions in the form of camels, which makes it clear that the word mal is an abbreviation of the word himal, beast of burden, or jimal, camels. Before personal suffixes way, with the following preposition la, appears sometimes proclitically as an explanatory particle, as in way lakum, woe to you, Surah 20:61, which is the same as the Syro-Aramaic way lakon, and sometimes substantively placed before and after, as in wa lakum al-wail, literally to you the woe. 2.2. Concerning the mistranscription of L in the traditional reading Lumazin. The Arabic L here is a mistranscription of a Syriac Ain. The original form in the Syriac script was, and I can't read that unfortunately, which corresponds to the Arabic Amaza. The Ain, if it is viewed with a diacritical point, results in the Arabic reading Gamaza. Lexically, the verbal root lamaza cannot be shown to be in use in any Arabic dialect. Everything that appears in the lexica can be traced back to this Quranic mistranscription and actually belongs under the root Gamaza. Lisan v 406b does not note that lamaza actually concerns a falsely transcribed Gamaza without a diacritical point. About lamaza, it simply says, originally this meant winking or make a sign with an eye. This note simply reproduces the definition Lisan v 38:8b gives concerning Gamaza, to give a sign with the eye, the eyebrow, and the eyelid. Because there is no verb lamaza in Arabic, the Arab lexicographers and commentators on the Quran attempted to speculate on some meaning for the word from the Quranic context. So, for example, in Tabari 3291 FF and in Lisan v 406b F, lumaza or lamaza is one who disdains or slanders someone else. However, the Quran makes the actual meaning of the term quite clear for us by self-reference, provided that the misreading I suggest in a different place is correctly transcribed and read. The Quranic commentators would not have noticed this because they did not see the connection between the two texts. Surah 83:29-30 reads, and this is the traditional reading, Inna ladine adramu kanu mina ladina amanu yadhaskuna wa ida maru bihim yata zamazuna. I'm sorry if I murdered that Arabic. Parrot 504 did not catch this last nuance, for he translated the text, they winked at one another in a strained way, Indeed, winking can have a variety of motivations. However, the Quranic context makes the mocking intention of the verb to laugh or make fun of in verse 29 quite clear. For this reason, the Quran intends the nomen adjuncts gamaza to mean one who mocks. In the context of Quran 104, this meaning would describe someone who makes fun of the afterlife and sees his happiness in the prosperity he enjoys in the present life, and thus someone to whom the punishments of hell are promised. This leitmotif, the unbelievers who mock in this life and the faithful who laughed in the afterlife, appears multiple times in the Quran with such synonymous expressions as sahira, to mock, dahika, to laugh, istazza'a, to make fun of, and la'iba, to amuse oneself, enjoy oneself, etc. Concerning the allophone, hamaza, which appears in Quran 104:1, before the word we have just been considering and whose misreading, humaza, was chosen for the name of the surah, Lisan v 42:5b makes the root hamaza synonymous with gamaza. It also, 42:6a, lists the present participle hamiz alongside the nomen adjunctus hamaz and humaza. These forms it explains as al-gayab, the slanderer. With this information, hamaza would be understood as an intensifying expression that is parallel to gamaz, which is possible according to Mandaean, i.e. Eastern Vernacular Aramaic phonetics. The traditional understanding recognizes the possibility that the root hamaza may actually be a phonetic variant of hamaza, which Lisan connects with the devil, who makes suggestions in the hearts of human beings. According to Mana 176a, however, the Syro-Aramaic root hamaz means, among other things, saka irtaba, to doubt, entertain, suspicion. Because the Quran puts doubt together with unbelievers in Quran 34:21, where God allows humans to be tested by the devil to learn who believes in the afterlife and who doubts, then hamaza, one who doubts, would fit well with gamaza, one who mocks, as one who doubts the afterlife and therefore makes fun of it. In the eschatological context of Quran 104, this is why such a person is threatened with the punishment of hell. As a result of the corresponding Syro-Aramaic morphology and orthography, the traditional reading of Surah 104:1, Melun li kuli humazatin lumazatin, should be adjusted to read Welun la kuli hamaza gamaza. The traditional understanding of this text, woe to every taunter and grumbler, should be amended semantically and syntactically as follows: woe to every mocking doubter. That is sufficient, I think, for now, to kind of give us a sense in which Christoph Luxenberg is onto something here. There was ample room for lots of mistakes to be made, and as we can see from a lot of the early manuscripts, there was an awful lot of work done on the manuscripts to clean up the mess that was created as a result of all of these mistakes. So I hope that was clarifying for you and enlightening and so on. And obviously this is an area that needs further and further investigation so that we can get to the bottom of all of this. Thank you for watching.